Welcome, Wastelanders, to another settlement video. Today we are at Jamaica Plains, a place that I've never really built before. If I've ever been here, it was maybe like the first time or two that I've played where I kind of set up basic defense and some veggies for the people to eat, but never really had any interest in this place until I started seeing a few other people's builds and finally decided to come and take a stab at it and see what we can do. As you can see, we have a gigantic junk wall surrounding basically almost the entire town of Jamaica Plains. Very time consuming, but well worth it because it looks really, really neat. Right outside you see we have these kind of pylons with these lights. Don't ask me what they are. I was just looking through my inventory and suddenly they were there. Possibly an update, possibly something from USO maybe, but I thought they looked kind of neat, so I kind of threw them out there. We also have some turret stands. These also just kind of showed up in some of my junk wall stuff. Put them up there. Be forewarned though that the turrets actually do not stay up there. You have to use the Place Anywhere tool to glitch them into place. So right here we have our auto-closing junk wall doors, and now we have the entirety of Jamaica Plains in here. Like I said, I've pretty much gone through and rebuilt almost the entire town, so it's going to be kind of an extensive tour. Starting right here with this diner. I came in here and I rebuilt this thing from the ground up. Replaced the missing sections of wall and the missing sections of roof and turned this into a Nuka-cola diner. There was nothing I could do about straightening out the sign, so I just said screw it and stuck it up there and added some red lights and called it a day. Right outside we have our little menu, some garbage cans, put out a few new seats to kind of replace some of the ones that were missing and whatnot. The ones that are here falling over, even with all of my scrapping programs, I cannot get rid of some of this stuff, so I just left it, said forget it. Put some grass in here, put a tree, called it a day. These lights are all red, so at nighttime this whole entire place is one big giant eyeball scorching red beacon. Inside we have a Nuka-cola rug. And if you've seen my Taffington Boathouse video, you've seen these guys. I have a whole bunch of different arcade games. There's different colors you can do, a bunch of different games. I just happen to throw in one of each. I think there's maybe like 3 or 4 different games total, but as I've said in the other one, you actually can play these. So we can go ahead and enter it. And this is one of the ones that I had no idea what in the world to do with it at first, other than I'm supposed to go around and get some of these guys that are running around. But after I got all the guys, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know you could actually shoot like this. So I just spent the whole time running around trying to not get blowed up by those robots. And yeah, took me a while to finally figure it out, but I did. So yeah, I've rebuilt this. I used the Creation Club, as I mentioned in my Taffington Boathouse video. One of the things I got was these Nuka-cola things. It played in perfectly for what I wanted to do, but again, as I said in that video, and I'm going to say again in this one, use it at your own discretion. The Creation Club actually corrupted a whole bunch of my saved files, and I lost a lot of information. That happened when I was working on this location. I lost probably about 3 hours of hard work that I had to go back and redo, and when we get to the point where it's kind of screwed up on me, I'll point out and you'll see why it's just kind of barren in some places. But you got a lamp here that you can turn on and off. I did not know that until right then and there. Good to know. I repaired this whole rear section here. All these sections of the roof, like that one right there, has a little different. I replaced that. Threw in a whole bunch of lighting. Over here I got a whole bunch of Nuka-Colas that I used the Place Anywhere tool to glitch them into the counter here, which is why you can kind of see those little posts right there, because these actually sit on one of those little carts over there. Couple of little draft guys sitting there, Nuka-Cola fridge, and Nuka-Colas as much as you could possibly see and or drink. Another lamp, which again you can turn on and off, and I did not know you could do that, but that's a thing. So moving along, don't even know where to begin because we have so much ground to cover. So we're going to head right towards, I guess, the center of the actual town of Jamaica Plain. So you can see that this whole town center has been completely repaired. I'm not saying it's pretty, but it is functional. And so here we have the outside of basically the town hall. We will go into there in a moment. Got one of these little guys over here that I had done some repair work to. Repaired the ceilings, put in some basic living quarters, dining table. Decided to leave those plates on the floor just to kind of give it some ambiance. You know, why the heck not? Over here we have a house that I initially started rebuilding, but it's two houses into one, and I just could not get everything to line up with the pre-existing textures that were already here with the ones that I was using for the repairs. So instead I brought in a crane and glitched a section of roof into there to make this look like one big giant construction zone. We have the Jersey barriers here, we have these little warning barrier guys. Again, the crane, he's lifting up that piece, and this shows that this town is basically still under construction. Put some green grass in there, and yeah, that was kind of a neat little idea that just popped into my head to kind of create some effect of, you know, everything's being rebuilt slowly, and it's not always going to be 100% perfect. Got a couple of stockades here for the naughty people. Cleaned up all this kind of stuff, decided to leave the statue just for the heck of it. Inside here, this is basically Minutemen headquarters. Repaired as much of the floor as I possibly could using some texture packs to get the exact matching texture. You can see this line here where they are not lined up perfectly, or you can actually see the line. That's basically where that's bleeding into effect. Put this in here, got our desk, chairs. I decided to leave a few of them. If you see any of the ones that are on their sides, that's because I cannot get rid of them. It's just one of those things that I can't do anything about. So if I can cover them, I cover them. If not, they just kind of sit there, like that chair there. Can't get rid of that one. This is all supposed to be basically municipality for them. Decided to leave the bathroom as is. It was just perfect the way it was. We got the stairwell here, left that stair, just kind of put in some of the walls and floors to replace sections. Didn't really do much anything in here, but over here we have more space. This is all their kind of headquarters. You know, tinkering with this, tinkering with that, all kinds of equipment, whatever, just to kind of make it look like this place is, you know, fully functioning. You can see here where they don't perfectly line up. There's just nothing I could do about that when I had to glitch some of these in place, just because the existing walls don't play well 100% with the ones that I'm using to replace. And here, left this room mostly untouched. I don't think I really did much of anything other than do some repairs. I think the floor here was missing, which is why this is obviously a different texture. Or at least there was a hole there, but that's what we got now. And this is the other side that we just came up. And yeah, this is mostly most of the town hall, which is now the kind of like a Minutemen headquarters. Back here we have the general's office. There's a couch here that is on its side, which you can see, but if you put something in the way, you can't see it. Like I said, if there's something that's knocked over, you can't get rid of them. Same thing with that chair there. That's why I put this big honking desk in the way to kind of cover it up, and creates the illusion that everything is good and ready to go, I guess. I don't know. Left all this kind of stuff here, just simply because it fit. Put in some new carpeted floors, got rid of some other junky floors down here, and I was going to put something in to kind of cover up this water, but just decided to leave it. Nothing I can do in there because that's a whole nother load screen, so we're just going to go ahead and ignore that. And let's go ahead and head on out with the rest of the tour. So not every building in here is accessible. I could have deleted a lot of them, like this one here I could have completely cleaned out, but decided to just kind of create the illusion, as I had done in my other videos, where I put doors and lights in place to kind of make it look like there are actual living spaces within there. This building was pre-existing, was missing basically almost the entire upper half. I replaced that, and in here where there was basically a store, I turned it back into a store. Decided to leave the robots and the terminal there, as well as that, and the counter, and put in a mat there to make this into an actual functional store. Again, as you've seen in all my other videos, the characters do not always do as they're supposed to do. But like I said, I left the robots here, put in all these shelves full of all kinds of junk, clothes and whatnot, just to really make this look like it's up and fully functional. You got the food and drinks on this half, and all kinds of trinkets and tools and whatnot on that half, and some clothes over there. And then above it, since I had just rebuilt it, we have a new living space. Got ourselves a little stairwell that leads up here. And inside here we have an actual player home, someplace where you can camp out. I had to kind of glitch into this to fill in the space above the door, and couldn't find a way to do the same thing over here, which is why this doorway is just basically a curtain with a stairwell that leads down that way. Is what I could do with the spaces I was working with, because again, these textures don't line up perfectly, and getting half walls to fill in this space are almost non-existent, or the ones that do exist are not the prettiest. So just kind of left it as is. A nice little bathroom in here, just for the heck of it. Needed something to fill in the space, and the wife suggested putting in a bathroom, so there you go. Some place to go do your duty. Another bad joke. My apologies. So, one thing I forgot to point out at the other gate when we first entered is that I put these in on all of the gates. These are sniper towers. Found this basic tower here in my inventory, again, probably something part of USO, and put in one by like every gate or every corner, so that I can post snipers up here so that they can keep an eye out looking for anything. And again, here's the other gate. This guy's part of the railroad, and he's very jumpy, so to speak. I mean, you even just sneeze and he's like freaking out. So over here we have these guys here. This is a brand new mod to me called, I think it's called More Fortifications. Adds in all these kinds of really cool sandbag fortifications, basically. Walls that you can put in place. There's short ones, tall ones, curved ones. Absolutely love it. Been using them a lot recently, so you're going to start seeing them showing up in more of my videos. We got a couple of guys back here guarding this building, which we will get to shortly. Over here, we have just another home. These guys are all kind of hanging out in here. I had rebuilt this one as well. Just throwing in a couple of walls here and there that were missing. Threw in some beds. Didn't do too much because it's such a tiny space, but yeah, it is what it is. And again, I'm just trying to make everything look new, I guess. Let's head back on over this way. And we have Donald's Smithing. I don't know why I decided to call it that, but I did, and apparently Donald's pretty busy. Got a whole bunch of people here. So in here we have some more decorations. I think this comes with another one of the mods. The name totally escapes me right now, but it also has things like these guys here, which are crates full of different types of ammo, fusion cores, and whatnot. I think it's also these guys, the displays. You're going to see a whole bunch more of that coming up in this video. You cannot interact with them. Again, the description will be the mod will be in the description below, so that you can actually find out what the heck they're called, because I'm just totally drawing a blank. But yeah, that's what they are. There's a whole ton of stuff in that one, and as I said, I will mention it in the description so that you guys can get a hold of that one. I highly suggest that you're absolutely going to love it. Here's another back gate to that same building, another guard back here, and some more of that fortification. Now over here we have this giant monstrosity.
Yeah.
But before we go in there, and before I forget, we got to go ahead and head on upstairs and take a look at the space above Donald's Smithing. I almost completely spaced on that one, so let's go ahead and take a quick look in here. Again, this was kind of a pre-existing thing that I just built into, knocked down all the walls that were here, got rid of them, and put up all this kind of stuff to bring it back to life. In here we have more bunks for, or some bunks for the Minutemen guys. This is for all the guys that are guarding that big mysterious stone building that we're going to get to in a little bit. But in here we have bunk beds, trunks, duffel bags, makeshift little kitchen area and dining table, just a little space for those guys to go hang out in and in between shifts, sleep, eat, so on and so forth. Same thing out here, put in a little floor and some stairwell and little railings. I had to do what I could because of the weird angle that you see here. I couldn't make that work with any of the textures that I had, so that's why we come out straight off like that. And then I also didn't want to get rid of the benches because the NPCs do use these benches all the time. And I wanted to kind of keep that little bit of ambiance. So yeah, I just put in a straight piece of flooring, closed it off with some railings, and then put the little stairwell over there. And then head back right on over here, and now we can go ahead and finally take a look and see what's inside here. So this thing I had no idea what to do with other than the fact that these steps already existed here. I think there was already a house or some sort of building here that I just didn't like, so I got rid of it and decided to play around with a new building element that I haven't really messed with before, which is these modular things. And I just started kind of putting them in place. I have to use the Place Anywhere tool for each and every individual square because they do not click. So this was actually quite time consuming and quite the undertaking to make them line up as much as I did without having too many gaps and misalignments and trying to keep it basically perfectly rectangular. Because by the time I finished this side and then finished that side, when I went to connect it on the back wall there, it did not even come close to lining up. So this is the barracks basically for the Minutemen troops that are stationed here. Got a little nice lounge area here, beds and trunks as far as the eye can see. Sorry, I was combining bed and trunk into one word. Over here, a little kind of administrative area. Again, this is all stuff that comes in here. Like I can't pick up that bobblehead. That's part of the fully stocked shelves type thing, as well as that new one that I'm using that gives me all those weapon things. As soon as I can remember the name of it, I'll say it in this video. Otherwise, it'll just be in the description. More full tables here for the mess hall, so to speak, and got a nice little kitchen area. This is another little neat feature that you might have seen in my Taffington boathouse. This is a refrigerator that basically looks like it's full of food. You can actually put stuff in there, but you cannot interact with any of the items in there, unfortunately. But yeah, as you can see, like some of these things are a little squiggly and don't exactly line up perfectly. Some of that's by design, some of it's not. Like this little section here, these are actually not supposed to be put together, which is why you get that little gap in there, but whatever. It worked. Got another little sniper tower up there, and back here, this nicely shambled together little shack. We have all of our water production. Had a little section of water here that I just kind of extended my wall around, and then put a whole bunch of these water purifiers in here just for the heck of it, because you got to do it. Because otherwise my wall would have gone probably a little bit closer this way, would have cut straight across, and so I decided to cut that way and then that way, just so I can get that little bit of water that you can see from that area over there. So it works, serves a purpose. Over here, this is a house that I did actually completely rebuild. This one was quite the undertaking. This is one of the ones too that I had lost all of my progress. Everything that you see there in blue was stuff that I had put in place that I had lost, including those white bump out sections up there with the bay windows. All the decorations and whatnot I had done in here. I even like went as far as putting new grass in here, new grass up here, built a walkway. But after I had lost that, I just said forget it, gave up, and rebuilt the house again, but left all the outside the way you see it. In here, nice little breakfast nook, dining table, and over here, nice little living space with the fireplace, and kind of left the kitchen as it was. The only thing I added was the refrigerator here. Up here, kept the stock stairwell, repaired the floor, and then up here, this is one of these chairs that you cannot get rid of, so I decided to make this look like these two guys were playing a game of chess. This guy lost, got upset, and decided to flip his chair. So can't move the chair, can't do anything with it, so I put a sort of matching one there, and apparently that guy was a sore loser. Little lounge area, nothing special here. Got a bedroom here. basic beds and decorations that you've seen in much of my other videos. Decided to leave that chair because it wasn't hurting anybody. And again, as we go up, all these walls are basically walls that I had put in place. All the basic white ones. Some of these others are like that had already been here. And up here we have sort of a library, kind of lounging escape area. Maybe this person's a writer, who knows? But we've got lots and lots of books up here. And another little basic bedroom with a fireplace and ceiling fan. And again, all these ceiling panels, all this is all stuff that I had to rebuild. None of this existed, or if it did, it was like all in shambles. So that took quite a while to put all of this back together and make it look as nice as it does. And as you can see right there is a gap where they don't perfectly line up, and I didn't feel like glitching another piece of wall into place, so I just said, forget it. It's good enough. And so now we're coming down to this big building over here. This was quite a fun thing to put together. But before we get to that, we're going to take a quick look at the church. Just because I felt like teasing you. In here, I got rid of everything. I even removed all the pews, and then I decided to put the smell back in here. And I also repaired the ceiling as best I could. You can still go up there. Everything still does function. I was originally trying to repair the actual roof, but the roof panels that come for building do not in any kind of way, mind the gap, do not in any kind of way match up with the actual roof texture. What I mean is like the pitch. These are way steeper than the ones that come with actual building ones, so there wasn't anything I could really do about it, so I decided to cover it up by putting these warehouse floors throughout the entire section there. And it works. It serves its purpose and looks fairly decent. It all matches up pretty well, and this is all nice and clean. I got these lights that are bright white, so at nighttime this whole place is just completely illuminated. Alright, so over here we have the armory. This is the Jamaica Plain's armory. I used the existing parking lot, whatever the heck this was originally, that had this little half wall built around it, and I used the Place Anywhere tool to put floor in the entire thing and just make this big massive armory. That is why this place is so heavily guarded. There's Minutemen guys at every single door trying to keep out the riffraff. Even have double gated doorways at security doors at every single location. But these are some of the shelves that I was talking about. This is a mixture of the fully stocked shelves, which are a lot of these taller ones here that you see with all these weapons and whatnot, and then all these shorter ones are part of this new mod that I've been showcasing lately, that for the life of me I cannot remember the name of, but it's basically like called weapons display or something like that. Again, it'll be in the description. Super handy for filling in a space like this to try and make it look really like heavily stocked up and supplied and ready to just basically blow up the world again. And then over here's the other back gate where that single guy was. It also comes with these wall displays as well as these weapon racks. Really cool. They have a whole bunch of melee stuff and different types of weapons for everything. And here's some more of the shelves over here. Initially hadn't really decided what the heck I wanted to do with this place until I started looking at it and decided, or I should say when I found this mod, I was like, okay, this has to be an armory. So I've got this one here that's got a door open, and there's actually some empty ones that you can put your own weapons in. The creator of the mod basically tells you how to do that. I think it probably needs something like the Place Anywhere tool to do that. Because when you walk up to them, like as you can see, there's no way to interact with any of them, even like the empty ones. So that would be my guess. Again, more of these. I loaded this entire building up as much as possible just to really kind of fill it in. This is also something new that I decided to try. These are some new wood stairs that I think you can normally find at like the docks or something. I had to glitch 2 of them into place in order to make this whole entire walkway here. So you can see this is where the meeting point is. And then up here we have some more of these things that are supplied by that same mod, all these different crates full of stuff. And then up here we have massive robots and power armor supplies up here. A whole bunch of every type of robot in the entire game. I just loaded them all up with, you've ever seen the movie March of the Wooden Soldiers? That's kind of what this reminds me of, is when they find the room filled with life-size soldiers and they just turn them on one by one and send them out in the army. Got some repair stuff up here so that they can work on any of the ones that get damaged, armor smithing, some boxes full of gun parts and whatnot. And here we have all different shelves full of armor, all these different power armors. These are just statues. You cannot actually get in these armor. I could have put real ones here, but it's just a pain in the ass to get them all here and then put like all the different parts on them. So I just put them here for show. Fusion cores, so on and so forth. And got these bad guys here. And this is the armory. This is the Jamaica Plains armory with one person in here. How you doing? And, yeah, this was a lot of fun to build once I found this mod that gave me all those decorations. I spent a lot of time really placing everything in there to make it look as nice as possible. And then, of course, once I found this mod too, the More Fortifications one, which I think I found almost around the same exact time, I knew that they had to go with the armory just to make this place look really heavily defended. Over here, didn't do much. I was going to start to do something with the cemetery here, but just cleaned it up a little bit and called it a day. Another building here that you can't really do anything with. You can open the door, but it doesn't lead to anything. Just to make it look kind of more lived in, as I've said before. Another gate back here. Same exact thing with the sniper tower and gate. And then out here we have the turrets on their little stands with the lights that sometimes do work, but you know, that's Bethesda. That's what you get. Over here, same exact thing. More houses. This is the one that's under construction. I continued the little construction lights all the way around. Inside, I actually did put some stuff in here to make it look like they are working. Got tables with tools and stuff on it. Construction lights. Same thing upstairs as well. Trying to make it look like they're really trying to rebuild this place, and just kind of little fun idea came up with. Over here, again, another house that you can't really go into, and then back over here we got this big raunchy thing that we'll take a look at in a moment. Another house here that I had to rebuild twice because of losing the corrupted save from the creation club and all that. So again, in here I just said forget it. I fixed the wall there and then just put a chair and a mannequin to make it look like some weird creepy guy lives here. Kind of reminiscent of one of my other builds. I think it was Somerville or something like that, where I had a guy that had a chair in a room with a whole bunch of mannequins, just for the heck of it. Up here, built into the rocks, put some more steps like I've done in some of my other videos where I built them into the ground to get all the way up here to the top for another little guard tower. I do have a guy that's supposed to be here, but as always, they just don't show up. So this building here was something that I didn't really know what in the world to do. In building it, I used, if you look at the shape of it, this like kind of weird U shape, and you see these pieces hanging down over the sides here. This is actually a pre-made thing. You can actually see the roof section there is the same exact thing. It's a pre-made thing that I think the layout and texture and all that comes from Diamond City. And in looking in my metal sections for new things to build with, I found these big giant things, and they're called walkways. So like I said, I think it's from Diamond City, and I thought that it would be really neat to use them in some sort of way, so I kind of did the best that I could and turned them into homes in a sense. This one I kind of built up the floor a little bit to kind of get it off the ground, threw in a couple of couches and some basic furniture, and I mean, not basic, this is, you know, junk furniture. And I tried to make this almost look like a meth lab, I guess you can say, where a bunch of meth heads live, and they basically just do meth, crack, whatnot, and live in shambles, and that's the best they have for a dinner table. And just, you know, something that I worked with. This is all built into the wall that surrounds the entire community. This whole roof section here is all the floor of the walkway that I was talking about. Something really, really neat. Some of these panels I actually had to put in because the had too many holes in it, and I wanted to kind of fill in the space. That's where you can see that thing kind of glitching right there. That's where two panels are kind of connected into one another. Yeah, just something totally different that I decided to mess around with that I hadn't done before. And we got another section over here. I threw in some supports. Got this little guy here to help hold up that wall. Put in some I-beams up there that are kind of coming in and out of the walls. Use the Place Anywhere tool to glitch those into place. And here's the upstairs. You got the silver shroud hanging out here in the corner. You can kind of see the I-beam glitching through the wall right there. Whatever. Kind of no purpose little walkway out here that couldn't really fit anything, so it's just kind of like a balcony. Another kind of crackhead den over here. We got a couple of beds, and this guy's got a couple of candles in his computer there so that he can watch something. I mean, something's better than nothing, I guess. Again, really didn't know what to do with these spaces, so I just kind of threw in weird things. Got a road sign there, another random bed, a mongrel statue just kind of sits there just for the heck of it. Do not enter. And then up here, another little crackhead makeshift dining area. This I had to glitch up here because this apparently isn't really buildable space for most of it, so whatever. That's what the Place Anywhere tool is for. And again, this was just something new and different that I just decided to mess around with. Just to kind of add a little bit of, I don't know, quirkiness to it, I guess. And last but not least, we have the greenhouse. Self-explanatory, just a greenhouse, you know, whatever. And you can see it's starting to get darker in the game, so now you can see that this is really, really bright. And sitting here in front of my TV, it actually does burn my retinas. And up there, finally, is the last little sniper tower that I missed in the very beginning of the video. And there you have it. This is the giant Jamaica Plain settlement. I think I've gotten all the buildings and talked about everything that's into this place. The wall, I had to delete some of the little sections of wall in there to kind of make it flow the way I wanted it to, and it's this was a very time-consuming build, but well worth it. I'm extremely happy with this one. I didn't think it was going to turn out anywhere near as nice as what I've actually been able to produce here, but it actually came out pretty darn good. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you want to see more content like this, you know, go ahead and do the usual, subscribe and all that fun stuff. If you want to reach out to me, you can leave comments below, or you can find me on Facebork. There's a link down in the description on how to do that as well. Also, if you have any requests of things you want to see, please let me know. One last little thing I'm going to point out here. This is how I kind of covered the section where these two walls didn't quite meet, but it worked out pretty well, so whatever. Again, if there's anything you guys want to see, please don't hesitate to ask. I will see you soon. Until then, don't get irradiated.